Sophie here. So today I am going to be showing you some surprising immune boosting foods. Sophie here, hi. Welcome to my kitchen again. If you're new to my channel, you are so very welcome. So on my channel, I give tips, tools, inspiration and recipes and all sorts of different things relating to the sort of umbrella term, the ubiquitous term of wellness. But truly, from my perspective, there is so much we can do in terms of our wellness to not only prevent disease, but also to feel our beautiful best selves as the years go by. So that's what I do. So you'll find me in my kitchen room, my living room, my bedroom, my backyard, doing all that stuff. So if you're interested in getting these little bursts of inspiration and information into your inbox, make sure you do subscribe, obviously, but click on that little gray bell icon, because that's where you get the notifications. And I get so many people going, Sophie, I didn't know a new video came out and you didn't tell me. So that's how you get to know. All right then. So let's get on with this right away without further ado. This is a quick video. Listen carefully. Stick around to the very end, because there's a little nugget of information that I want to give you at the end that I do not want you to miss. Okay, so we've got a few foods in front of us here. Now, you might have seen some of my other videos on foods to boost your immune system, and there's a lot of ubiquitous information out there, the usual suspects, which are really powerful, such as blueberries and cruciferous veggies and stuff like that. But what I want to show you today is some foods that I think are a little bit surprising in terms of foods that can boost your immune system. And now there is never a better time to boost our immune system with all those pesky viruses flying around. And truly, it is a time where we really want to get a more targeted approach. Like, what are the foods that I can bring into my home, eat as much of every day, one of these foods if possible, and feed yourself and your family with to keep us well, because that really is our first line of defense, is our immune system. Okay, so let's go to the first food. So the first food is broccoli. And you might go, well, wait a minute. Yeah, I know about broccoli, but I'm going to tell you a couple of little surprising things, right? So the first thing is, when you buy your broccoli, what you want to really think about and celebrate are the broccoli stalks. Because studies have found that the specific immune boosting compounds that we need to fight off those pesky viruses are found in the stalks, much more so than in the florets. All right, so I know everybody likes the floret. I remember growing up, my mum would kill me for saying this, but I remember when I was growing up, we'd go to the supermarket and mum would go, I'm just going to snap off the stalks and leave them there, because it's like, we don't eat the stalks. I'm like, Mum, nobody else is going to want this. Is my very frugal mum, you know. So mum, busted, done. But anyway, but she was leaving the best part behind. Mum, you are making a big mistake. You were bringing the florets back. Mind you, as kids, it would be like, we only like the florets, of course, because they seem so tough, these stalks. But you seriously use the stalks. So how can you use them? Well, a brilliant way to use the stalks is just cut them up and make a beautiful broccoli soup. You can make a quote-unquote cream of broccoli soup by adding cashew nuts and blending it all up in your high-speed blender. So I would definitely use them in soups. You can also use them in things like chilies and stews by grating them. So if you've got a food processor with a grater attachment, just grate the stalks, and you can make a coleslaw, you can do a stir fry, or have them grated down enough that they'll kind of sort of disappear into a chili or something of that kind of stew. So if you have any other ideas of how to use big, thick broccoli stalks in culinary dishes, please leave it in the comments below. Your comments will be, and ideas will be really, really welcome. So that's the thing. Obviously, you're going to eat the whole thing, but please, please make sure you do. Another thing that you can do is grate them and throw them in a smoothie as well. So now we're on the broccoli category. The really gold standard of broccoli are broccoli sprouts. So we're really thinking about almost everything now, from seed to stalk to floret. And starting from the seed, which is the sprouted seeds, that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, or the most immune boosting compounds. Now, Broccoli sprouts, you may have heard before. They are, to me, they're like the ultimate health food, anti-aging food, and very much so. Now, recent studies have shown immune boosting food. So you may find lots of different sprouts in your market, like alfalfa sprouts, radish sprouts, etc. But broccoli sprouts are really what you want to look for. They often come in a clamshell. Unfortunately, it is quite a lot of plastic, but that's how they sell them. If you can grow them yourself, grow them yourself. I'm going to be completely honest here. I was going to do a whole video. I got all the gear. I was going to grow them. I, babied them. I did the whole thing, and they just didn't work for me. They don't grow as easily as some other sprouts. That was me. If you've got a link to some amazing process, pop it in the comments below. I'm still open to learning so that I can reduce this plastic. But anyway, broccoli sprouts, put them in your salads, obviously. Wraps, they make a wrap really crunchy. They add a lot of really delicious crunch to it. And you can also put them in your smoothie. And you will taste it a little bit. I'm not going to lie, it does alter the taste of a smoothie. So you might want to have a lot of other things in that smoothie, such as ginger and cinnamon. Those are two ingredients that really knock other unwelcome tastes out of the park. So there's a little tip for you. So broccoli, really think from, best case scenario is the seed, the sprouted sprout, then the stalk, and then the florets. Okay, fabulous. All right, so the next food I'm going to go to is, now we're in the green family, is green tea. So again, you've heard me say it before. I've been touting the benefits of green tea for like 12 years now. My channel is called Gorgeously Green, but really, truly, green tea, they're finding more and more studies are coming out now to say that for targeting your immune system, green tea is where you want to go. So you don't have to buy really expensive green teas. You can find a beautiful organic green tea. This brand is Eden. I'll put a link for it underneath, and they do a lot of different tea bags. It's organic. This is again Maisha, which is lovely because it's mixed with a toasted rice. So it gives it a lovely sort of toasty flavor, lovely, soothing in the winter, absolutely delicious. You could go for a matcha. This is by Peak or Pique. Which is one that I recommend if you are going to do a matcha. It's expensive, but then again, price per cup, if you compare it to what a very cheap and expensive matcha latte that you might find at the coffee store, it's not so bad. I do like it because the quality is sort of par none. I'll put a link for that underneath. The one extra little benefit with matcha powder is that matcha has been found to boost metabolism. So if you're watching your weight, if weight loss is an issue for you, you're on your weight loss journey, then matcha green tea might be something you want to add in. And on that note, by the way, if you are on your weight loss journey, if you're really struggling with weight loss, then do watch my free masterclass, which is, I'll put the link below this video, and you can click on that and have a good look at that. And it really gives you my full philosophy as a weight loss specialist, as a coach, and as a nutritionist, as my approach is to healthy weight loss. Okay, so that is green tea. Now, how much? Probably I'd go for about 4 cups a day. Matcha, you wouldn't want 4 cups of matcha because matcha tends to be a lot more high in caffeine. It's the whole green tea leaf that is ground up into a very fine powder. So if you're doing matcha, I would say 1 cup a day. But if you're drinking a green tea that is, I've got to do sometime a video just on green tea because I could do an hour-long video just on the different kinds of green tea. But if you're drinking a green tea, either a loose leaf like a beautiful sencha or a gunpowder or something like that, or again Maisha, you can go to 4 cups a day, very easily. One thing that I would say is have your tea at a different time to your meal, because the tea can, take iron out of your diet or nutrients out of the food that you're eating. So maybe give about an hour after your lunch or your dinner to have your tea. Give yourself that little space. Okay, so that's that. So we've done green. Now let's go to me, what is actually the ultimate weight loss food, but it so happens that it is also the ultimate immune boosting food, and that is mushrooms. So they contain very, very specific compounds. And I'm not going to go into the science right here because it's too much for the scope of this video, and I don't want to keep you here for hours because I know on YouTube everyone's like, fast forward, get to the information, which is why I'm talking so quickly now, because I want you to get everything in here that I've got. But truly, mushrooms If you like mushrooms, try and eat them every single day in one form or another. If you absolutely dislike mushrooms, then at the very least have a mushroom supplement. And in fact, I will put a link to a mushroom supplement, one that I really highly recommend for your immune system, underneath the video. Okay, so if you're a mushroom hater, then there is a link underneath the video. But if you like mushrooms, embrace them, try and eat them every single day. Now, the surprising part of this, which surprised me when I found out recently at a big health conference that I went to, is the kind of mushroom. I always thought it was shiitake. And in fact, all mushrooms have immune boosting compounds and all mushrooms are really healthy. But the one mushroom that was found to stand head and shoulders above the rest is a chanterelle mushroom. Now, fresh chanterelles are really hard to come by depending on where you live. Certainly in North America, I'm not finding them rarely in a market. There are seasons for them. And when they're in season, sometimes you can find them in the health food store. If you live in England, or I have one of my clients who lives in Sweden and she can forage for them. She literally goes and finds them free in the forest. Lucky her, but not us. So what I recommend you do is buy them dried. So I'll put a link under the video to a dried brand, the one that I have right here in my hand. And here's the thing about dried mushrooms that I absolutely love about dried mushrooms even more so than fresh mushrooms, is when they're dried, obviously, you can store them forever. Fresh mushrooms, you've got to be, they can go bad. You want to keep them in a paper bag in your fridge, not in a plastic bag, because that way they get slimy really quickly. But these store for a long time. You can keep them for, up to a year in your pantry. When you use them, you literally just cover them in boiling water. So I put them in a measuring jug. I cover them in boiling water. I will let them soak for anything from a minimum of 2 hours, sometimes overnight. Then you'll have this really rich soaking broth or soaking juice, this dark brown juice. And that you can use in lieu of or in place of veggie broth. Or if you're making a soup or a stew or anything, it adds this beautiful depth of flavor, chili, anything. Don't throw that away, use it because it's really delicious, plus it has the compounds in. Then you'll have the mushroom, you just chop it up in the chanterelle and you can use it in everything. You can make a beautiful pasta, you can make a risotto, you can add it to a chili, you can add it to salads. There are so many different ways that you can use your beautiful dried mushrooms. So that's your chanterelle. It's the chanterelle mushroom that is the surprise for me. All right, now let's go on to the next one. Another big surprise for me, well, not a big surprise, but a bit of a surprise was I was really looking for, we go for the ubiquitous, berries. Yes, I've already said blueberries, but the berry, the fruit that stands head and shoulders above the rest is the humble cranberry. So you really, really want to embrace your cranberries. They have to be unsweetened. So don't think that buying sweetened, dried cranberries is, that's really not the way to go. Remember, obviously, dried fruits are very high in sugar. Sugar isn't great for your immune system. So what I recommend you do is find them frozen. Just buy, if you find them in the store, and there's certain times of year where you'll really find a lot of them in the freezer section, buy a lot of them. If you've got room in your freezer, buy bags of them, because then you'll have them all year round. How do we use them? Well, they are bitter because they're not sweetened. So the best thing that you could do is really honestly throw them in a smoothie. And again, it'll alter the taste of your smoothie because it is a little bit bitter. So if you do that, you might need to add a little bit of a sweetener. Best case scenario, a couple of dates thrown in there or something of that kind. Or if it's way too bitter for you, a tiny little bit of monk fruit sweetener or a stevia or something like that. That's not a caloric sweetener. But cranberries, just use them. And again, when we think of cranberries, you might think cranberry sauce, cranberry in a can, cranberry, not the same thing. Cranberry in a can is not going to have those same health benefits. Dried sweetened cranberries, not. You really want the actual fruit. And of course, you can get it fresh at certain times of year. And if you can get that and it's really inexpensive, you can buy them and you can freeze them. Okay. And then finally, best till last is seaweed. So seaweed confers so many seed veggies, so many different health benefits. But there's one in particular, and that is very easy to find, and it is kombu, which is also known as kelp. So you can use either word interchangeably. It means the same thing. So kombu has been found to have particular health benefits, immune boosting, benefits. So you buy your kelp or your kombu dried, okay? It comes in strips that look a little bit like little sort of strips of kind of leather, if you like, okay? So that's how it comes, and it's dried, and you think, how am I gonna use that? So the first thing that you do is you rinse it off to get any salt off it. Just give it a really, really good rinse. And how I use it is I do my own made veggie broth very often. I keep all my veggie scraps, and then once every couple of weeks, I make a huge pot of veggie broth and I freeze it. So I'll use kombu. It's wonderful for two things, aside from being immune boosting. It's wonderful for flavor, so it imparts flavor. It also is very, very helpful in boosting your thyroid function. So if you have a low firing thyroid, you're going to need the iodine that comes from your sea veggies. But it is best case scenario if you actually eat it. So if you're making a soup or something of that kind, or even a salad, then you're just going to cook it, you're going to boil it, follow the directions on the package, and then you just chop it up. You can chop it up with a little pair of scissors and just eat it. It's not fishy, it doesn't have a horrible fishy taste. It really is a very pleasant taste. And that is a surprising food that will significantly help to boost your immune system. So that's it. Those are the sort of surprise. Oh, did I do the chocolate? I haven't done the chocolate, have I? Oh, so one more is chocolate. So chocolate, yeah? Because I really did save the best till last, right? So chocolate does have immune boosting compounds in it too. You want very dark chocolate. I talk about this in other videos. The darker the better. I would say in terms of immune boosting, you really want to think of 70% cacao content or above. And you absolutely want a chocolate that is not full of sugar and cream. So you want a dark chocolate that is dairy-free and that is sugar-free, because if you have those ingredients in, then you're defeating the purpose of having a healthy food. So make sure it's that. This is one by Lily's Chocolate, extra dark and no sugar added. So it's one that sort of really works for me. So a little bit of chocolate. We don't have to go crazy with it. A couple of squares, a day or at night is absolutely fine. And so that is it. But really, truly, just remember that, much like weight loss, immune boosting isn't just this. It's not just your diet. You always want to think bigger picture. You always want to think holistically. And it really does start with stress management. So even if you're eating all these foods, but you are living a life where you are triggered by stress every minute of every day, and you have those stress hormones running through your body, then that's the first thing that is going to really be impairing your immune system. All right. So number one, I always start there. I always start with the most important thing, which is stress levels. So that would be something. I have other videos on that you might, want to look into if you are finding yourself super, super duper stressed out right now. So I hope you found this helpful. Please get these foods, stock up on them, and eat them every single day if possible. And if you like this video, lots more in this sort of category, go check them out, and I will catch you next time.